Hey everyone, I'm G. I'm talking about the creativity in the biomedical engineering field. The person I interviewed is Tim. He's a project manager in the biomedical instrument in Duke Clinic. He was majorly providing pharmaceutical information to the clinics, and also he has taken charge of many biomedical devices instruments installation. So there are major four questions I ask: the creativity in his discipline, an example of a professional experience where he feels creativity is very critical, and an unexpected situation that he may think influence the outcome, and eventually the advice for people like us, students, for achieving success in the field. So first, he was a product management manager in the biomedical industry, and he helped to finding solutions for the clinics. And however, he feels like although the creativity may have benefits, it also can create some drawbacks, because as an engineer, it's not only to thinking about the creativity in one field, but also to thinking about the practical solution that considering the cost. For all the medical devices, the cost will be all the devices have to go through the FDA, and under the investigation, if the idea is over, didn't consider about the procedure it takes, the investigation may take longer time and be harder to really put the benefit to the patients. Secondly, an example of the professional experience he gained when field creativity was very critical. So when he was doing a clinical immersion in Duke Hospital with surgeons, he found that he was trying to find a medical treatment to actually increase the unmet demand in the medical field. There are two ways he could use to find out the solution. One is to interview investigate in the medical installations in a very disruptive but highly informatic way, which can come out with a very great result, because that is like doing something nobody has been done before. And also he can try to just do an incremental creation based on the existing technology, which will be less in the cost. However, the idea may not be that practical in the usage and may not be that important for the whole industry. Eventually, it's very important for him to find a balance point in creation. So what he did is actually he created a device that is able to fit all the criteria. The device can fit in the current technology, able to be produced in different disciplines, and also can be helpful enough for the industry. For the medical industry, he found out for very small criteria, the bone crafting, the ingestion of the crafts have the failure up to 15%, which is very high chance. 50% of patients have to do the second or even third time of the bone ingestion. His project was then oriented to make a device, not to actually create a material for the crafting, but actually to interface with the material to shape it, anchor the craft to the tissues, and contain the material to make it not falling down after a long time ingestion. This time he can actually avoiding the ingestion failure and much lower it. Therefore, this is actually a very practical and creative way to solve such pharmaceutical informatic solution. Afterwards, the next question is to the unexpected or surprise event that can influence the outcome. So there was, for the same example he used before, to create a bone crafting material device. He actually created two different ways for the clinics. But the first way is told by the and he provided both way to the Duke Hospital to actually ask for their device and to hear their final voice. However, the first way was denied by the surgeon because it will take too much time to get passed from the FDA. And the second, also the last step, although it's been approved, but eventually after a longer time investigation till the last step, they found this kind of procedure can cause the change of pH level of the surrounding tissue area, which doesn't seem to be very influential for the clinical purpose, but have some potential drawbacks. So he also gave up on the second solution. Now he been spending a lot of time on creating ideas, but he ended up have none of them getting approved. So he has to create reimagine the problem. After in-depth research and experiment, he eventually found a practical solution. Therefore, his suggestion is like creativity is great, but he needs to be really realistic about the problem. And when he look at a question right now, he thinks like the most important thing is not only being divergent about all the possibilities, but also be convergent about the specific aspect of the problem. Then come up with a practical solution, because as an engineer, the thing you want to get eventually is a solution, not an idea. For all the future engineers, he gave us four advices. I'm going to read it because I feel like the sentences are really solid. The first one is to don't close mind to other disciplines or industries to find a great idea. You can find a great idea in our department, engineering disciplines, and other industries. You can even imagine to use 3D printing inside the patients or cooperate with the textiles to find other solid ways. The whole idea is to think over the discipline you are in right now to actually expand your creativity and imagination and redefine the question. Second is to talk to anyone that will listen to you. Just to get another point of view will actually help you a lot for solving the problem. Sometimes people anybody else can see problem in the different aspect, which is very precious when you are thinking about a question for a long time. Third, when you work with a group, don't really judge the ideas. Encouraging brainstorming, not forcing others to think as he thinks. This will be helping the group to be very creative and have tremendous ways of solving a problem in the beginning. That is very helpful. The last thing he needs to think about is to talk to the experts. Keep in mind they have the biases. Always think about the other's words in a controversial way, because nobody is perfect, and always always think when you're listening. Thank you.